Love, when twisted by betrayal, becomes something darker. A university professor and a small-town girl fall into a passion neither can sustain. When he chooses his reputation over her, she's left with nothing but scars and a mother's death on her conscience. Years later, she orchestrates his downfall with chilling precision, taking his career, his money, his daughter, and finally, his sight. But revenge, like love, rarely ends the way anyone expects. If you love tragic stories where passion turns into revenge, hit subscribe and join me for more twisted love stories every week. The film opens with Hak-kyu arriving in a small town. Upon stepping off the bus, it suddenly feels like the town is stuck in time. The town feels old, and the gray atmosphere settles over him like a weight. He knew this place would be small and remote, but standing here now, it feels worse than he imagined. Back in the city, Hak-kyu taught literature at a university, but a scandal forced him to leave the school and go to a place where no one knows him. A student accused him of sexual assault, and while the investigation drags on, he's been placed on suspension. So he's here, waiting for the storm to pass. While taking in the town, a young woman named Deok-yi emerges from the supermarket and stops beside him. They notice each other. Her eyes move slowly over his clothes, the pressed shirt, the clean shoes. Nothing like what the men wear around here. Hak-kyu catches her staring and wonders why she's checking him out so openly. He moves on to the community center where his new teaching job begins. Inside, his students are already seated. The class is filled with corny locals who crack jokes about him being too young to be a professor. Deok-yi lives in the small town with her mute mother, whom she cares for deeply. She works as a ticket seller at the town's amusement park. After her shift that day, she picks up groceries to make dinner for the two of them. Deok-yi and Hak-kyu run into each other at the amusement park while he's getting something to drink. During their conversation, she learns he's a professor teaching literature at the community center. The news excites her. She imagines the class must be interesting. The next day, Deok-yi shows up in his class. Throughout the lesson, her eyes never leave him. There's something in the way she watches, curious, maybe even fascinated. The novel he reads aloud leaves her mesmerized. When class ends, she walks up and strikes up a conversation. She admires him, wishes she had his kind of life. She's tired of this place, tired of people content with small existences. She wants to leave, to see the city, to be somewhere that feels alive. Nobody here interests her because they're all boring. Hak-kyu listens and finds himself drawn to her. His own life doesn't feel particularly exciting lately, but hearing her talk about him like that flatters him. A few days later, while they sit over drinks and talk about their lives, Hak-kyu's phone rings. His daughter Chung-yi calls and asks if he plans to come home that day. He tells her he is on his way and ends the call. Hak-kyu is married, but his wife is drowning in severe depression. It's taking a toll on him and their daughter Chung-yi. Medication does little to help her at this stage. He excuses himself and heads to the bus stop and boards a bus. Through the window, he spots Deok-yi walking down with a sullen look. He gets off the bus and walks back to her. Together they head to his place. The thought of returning to that sad home, to the responsibility waiting there, suddenly feels unbearable. That night, Deok-yi kisses Hak-kyu, showing him she's been drawn to him since the first day they met. After that night, they start seeing each other regularly. Hak-kyu takes her on dates around town, offering glimpses of the life she craves. One evening, they sneak into the amusement park where she works. The place sits nearly deserted. They get on the Ferris wheel, and as the carriage rises into the night, things become intimate. It's Deok-yi's first time with someone she truly cares about, and she takes in every moment. Their passion consumes them and they lose themselves in each other without a care in the world. Even when the park security guard flashes his light in their direction, they don't stop. That moment belongs to them, and in it, nothing else matters. By the next day, the story spreads through the town like wildfire. Eventually, it reaches Deok-yi's mother. The woman is disappointed, her daughter, unmarried and acting recklessly. Hak-kyu starts buying her things she's never had: fashionable clothes and shoes, makeup, small luxuries that make her feel beautiful and loved. They visit a street artist who sketches their portraits. With each passing day, they fall deeper into whatever exists between them. Then one day, everything falls apart. Hak-kyu receives a call from his friend and colleague. He has good news and wants to visit. That night, they meet up. The friend delivers the news. The accusations against him didn't hold up. The friend explains that new evidence surfaced, a video showing the student who accused him actually throwing herself at him. The footage clears his name completely. Hak-kyu is cleared to return to the university and they expect him back immediately. Meanwhile, Deok-yi is waiting for him at home. He sends her a message to go back home, claiming he has catching up to do with his friend. Hak-kyu keeps the news to himself. Deok-yi arrives at his place the next morning to find him packing in a hurry. He tells her he's been reinstated at the school and has to return immediately. Deok-yi's heart sinks. He's leaving just like that, as if they never happened. Desperate to make him stay, she tells him she's pregnant. The news stops him in his tracks. There's nothing to discuss. She can't have the baby. He drives her to an abortion clinic. They sit in silence as the procedure is scheduled. Deok-yi realizes he has no intention of building a life with her. There's nothing she can say that will change his mind. While she recovers from the procedure, Hak-kyu leaves the clinic, promising to return. He goes home to his wife and daughter. Hak-kyu returns to his life at the university. He comes to Deok-yi's town occasionally to teach at the community center, but never bothers to see her. Unable to bear the neglect, she shows up at his office to confront him about why he's keeping her a secret. With his reputation still fragile, he pleads with her to go home, promising he'll come see her after his lectures. His friend notices Deok-yi leaving Hak-kyu's office and reminds him that his reputation is still hanging by a thread. He warns him to be careful, but Hak-kyu tells him to mind his own business. Later that night, while cooking dinner, Deok-yi spots Hak-kyu standing outside. She rushes to meet him, forgetting to turn off the stove. When she reaches him, he hands her an envelope filled with cash. He's moved on. Their affair, the abortion, all of it needs to stay buried. The money is meant to ensure her silence. Deok-yi stares at the envelope, then throws it at him. She feels humiliated and heartbroken. The idea that money can erase what happened between them, that he never loved her. She lashes out, threatening to reveal everything to his school. But her tears don't move him. Deok-yi grabs onto him, refusing to let go. He pushes her away and she hits the ground. Just then, she notices flames tearing through her home. While she stood there fighting for a love that never existed, the curtain in the kitchen caught fire from the stove. Before she realized it, the entire house was engulfed. Her mother is trapped inside. Without thinking, Deok-yi runs toward the burning building. Hak-kyu tries to stop her, but she's already gone. In the chaos, his phone rings. It's his daughter. She's crying, barely able to speak. Something has happened to her mother. The evening couldn't get any worse. Hak-kyu calls the fire department, gets in his car, and drives back to the city. He leaves Deok-yi behind without knowing if she made it out alive. When he reaches his apartment, he finds his wife dead. She had committed suicide. In the aftermath of these tragedies, Hak-kyu channels everything into his writing. He pours the guilt, the loss, the tangled mess of what happened into a novel. The book becomes a bestseller and makes him famous. Despite his success, Hak-kyu and his daughter are still estranged. She can't forgive him for abandoning her mother when she needed him most. In her eyes, he's partly responsible for her mother's death. The resentment builds a wall between them that neither knows how to tear down. 8 years pass. Hak-kyu's wealth grows as his books continue selling, but his fame doesn't change who he is. He still sleeps with his students, drinks, and smokes heavily. He has also developed a gambling habit that takes him to illegal underground dens where someone of his status shouldn't be found. One day, he notices his vision blurring. He schedules an appointment with a doctor. The diagnosis isn't good. The condition affecting his eyes is incurable, made worse by years of neglecting his health. The doctor explains that his vision will continue deteriorating until eventually he'll be completely blind. Treatment can delay it, and she advises him to stay away from alcohol and cigarettes. But the warning falls on deaf ears. Suddenly, Hak-kyu's life takes a turn for the worse. The university fires him after they discover his gambling activities. Around the same time, he loses a major bet with a friend and watches a significant chunk of his savings disappear. Now he's facing blindness with no steady income and dwindling resources. Hak-Kyu's relationship with Chung-Yi continues to crumble. She's withdrawn, still grieving her mother, and avoids talking to him whenever possible. Unknown to him, the architect of his downfall is next door. Deok-Yi has reappeared in his life. She moved in next door under a fake name and has already gotten close to Chung-Yi. She helps Chung-Yi with her schoolwork and keeps her company in ways Hak-Kyu never manages to. Because of his failing vision, Hak-Kyu can't see her clearly. Deok-Yi starts caring for him, bringing him food and helping him around the house. She suggests taking him to another doctor who might actually help. The doctor mentions a new technology from England that might restore his sight. The treatment requires a month of medication before surgery can be performed. Hak-Kyu doesn't ask about the cost. He's desperate enough to agree to anything. As the month of treatment progresses, the stress builds. He knows the surgery will be expensive, and he's not sure he has enough money left to cover it. He asks Deok-Yi to take him to one of the gambling dens. She's reluctant, but agrees. At first, luck seems to favor him. Hand after hand, Hak-Kyu keeps winning. The money piles up. Feeling bold from his winning streak, Hak-Kyu asks the dealer to take him where the serious gamblers play. The stakes are much higher here. He places his first bet and loses everything he just won. He asks them to loan him money, hoping he'll win back double. Deok-Yi tells him to stop before he gets himself into real trouble, but he doesn't listen. The gambling boss, Mr. Choi, presents him with a loan of $90,000 at an extremely high interest rate. His vision is too blurred to read the fine print, but he signs it anyway. Behind him, Deok-Yi and Mr. Choi exchange glances. She knows exactly what's happening. She wants to watch him drown in debt. Back at home, Chung-Yi starts noticing something off about Deok-Yi's behavior. She goes through her father's belongings and finds a sketch of Deok-Yi. Later, she confronts her indirectly, asking about her relationship with her father. Chung-Yi admits she likes her, but she doesn't want her to be her mother. Deok-Yi reassures her that she has no intention of marrying her father. That night, Chung-Yi walks in on her father and Deok-Yi having sex. The next day, Mr. Choi shows up to collect the money. The interest keeps climbing, but Hak-Kyu still has nothing. The men beat him until he could barely stand, then force him to sign another contract stating that Chung-Yi would be taken as collateral until the debt is cleared. Chung-Yi comes home and finds the men bullying her father. Mr. Choi promises to come back for her. Panicked, she calls for Deok-Yi. Later, the men return and kidnap Chung-Yi. They take her to Japan to work as a sex worker. 6 months pass. Hak-Kyu is alone now. With Chung-Yi gone, only Deok-Yi remains. One evening, she prepares a meal, throwing together whatever she can find. When he tastes it, he can't help but notice something's off. Deok-Yi snaps at him, calling him ungrateful. The least he could do is appreciate her busting her ass to care for him. Hak-Kyu apologizes and asks her to help him shower. While he's in the bath, Deok-Yi finally reveals the truth. She's not who he thinks she is. She's Deok-Yi, the same girl he abandoned 8 years ago in front of that burning house. The pain of what he did never faded. She lost her mother in that fire and herself along with it. She spent years planning this. She reveals that every horrible thing that has happened to him lately was orchestrated by her, and she is just beginning. She hired a fake doctor who made his vision worse. She orchestrated the debt by hiring Mr. Choi to pose as a loan shark and bleed him dry. And Chung-Yi's disappearance. That was doing too. She claims Chung-Yi is dead, her body impossible to find. The revelation leaves Hak-Kyu stunned. Both of them break down, frustrations pouring out. Hak-Kyu feels helpless and all he can do is write about his misery. Deok-Yi reads it and can't help but acknowledge that his writing this time is exceptional, filled with emotional depth she's never seen before. One day, while Deok-Yi and Hak-Kyu are taking a walk, someone approaches them. It's Chung-Yi, alive and healthy. Deok-Yi freezes. She doesn't understand how this is possible. Hak-Kyu is glad to have her back. Chung-Yi, however, excitedly suggests they go home so Deok-Yi can make her special pancakes. She's missed them. Inside, Chung-Yi explains that she managed to pay off the debt herself. She met a wealthy man in Japan who helped her raise the money quickly. Later, Deok Yi calls Mr. Choi, demanding to know what happened and how Chung Yi is back. She paid him to hold on to her until she finalized her revenge. The man tells her that Chung Yi cleared the debt, and he had no reason to keep her any longer. That night, while showering, Chung Yi walks in. She notices the scars on Deok Yi's back, the scars from the fire. She acknowledges that Deok Yi must have been through hell to go to such lengths for revenge. It dawns on Deok Yi that Chung Yi knows exactly who she is and what she's been doing. She's been through hell too because of Deok Yi's revenge. And now, it's her turn. She's going to make her suffer just as much. She discovered that Deok Yi is responsible for her father's blindness. Now, with help from her wealthy client in Japan, Chung Yi has arranged for Deok Yi's eyes to be transplanted into her father so he can see again. Deok Yi will go blind as punishment for how far she took her revenge. The money for the surgery has been raised, and a proper doctor has been secured. Deok Yi accepts her fate. She knows it's either by will or compulsion, and she has no energy left to fight. Chung Yi allows Deok Yi to meet Ha Kyu at the hospital before the surgery. Ha Kyu tells her he wants to start over. He understands why she did all of this, and he's sorry for hurting her all those years ago. Deok Yi breaks down, sobbing uncontrollably. She hates that her villain has softened, that he's apologizing to her now. It makes her entire revenge feel meaningless. Ha Kyu asks for a second chance, promising to make things right for both her and Chung Yi after his surgery. He assures her he truly loved her back then but didn't have any choice. This breaks her even more. They hold each other, sobbing bitterly. Just then, the men burst into the room and knock them out. In the end, Ha Kyu is seen grabbing Deok Yi's hand. She's blind now, while he can see. He expresses his love for her. Even though she's lost her vision, she's finally gotten the love she's sacrificed so much for. And that wraps up Scarlet Innocence, a haunting tale of love, betrayal, and the irreversible damage of obsession. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another twisted story breakdown. Drop a comment below. What did you think of Deok Yi's choices? Was she truly innocent, or just playing the part?